Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we are going to learn about SQL injections. SQL injections is a technique where you can gain access to the websites without authorization. You can gain access to the websites without authorization by doing some manipulations with SQL queries. So how do we do that? And how to manipulate the SQL queries which are written in the backend? So before going to SQL injections, we need to know what SQL is, right? So what is SQL? SQL stands for Structured Query Language. Okay, this is the full form. We got it. But why do we use this SQL? This will allow you to talk with your database. Not directly, but that means with the help of SQL, we can access the data which is stored in the database and can manipulate the data present in the database. So, SQL can do a lot of things like this. Something like it can retrieve the data present in the database. That means I can see what are all the values present in the database. And the next one, it can insert some information into the database. Let's think of an instance that we have a university where you need to add a new student into the college database. We'll just take few details from the student like name, mobile number, email address and something like this and save them to the database. That means we are just adding all the information of the student into the database, which means we are just inserting the data. And the next thing that an SQL can do is it can update the existing information. Suppose we have inserted the student information before, right? But let's suppose there is a typo while inserting his name. So we need to replace the name which we have already entered to the database with a new name which we need to save to the database. So that's called the updating the information which is already stored in the database. So you can do that with SQL. And not only that, it can delete some data from the database. Let's suppose the student is going to leave the college or going to leave the university. You just need to delete the student's data. Using just the SQL statements, you can delete the student's information from the database and whatnot. It can do every manipulation you want with the information which is stored in the database. So now we got to know what SQL is and what it does, right? Let's see some of the syntaxes of SQL, because when we jump into SQL injections, we are going to work on some queries. So we'll just have a look on select syntax in the SQL. Let's suppose we are working on an instance of login form. Then we use this query called select star from users, where email is equal to a particular email and password is equal to particular password of the user. So this is the syntax of the SQL statement when you're working on the login form. So generally we use the select query for retrieving the data from the database. So when you want to log into any website or any accounts, you will be giving your email and password and try logging in, right? What actually happens in the background is the email and password which you enter will be matched with the data already present in the database. So first the data will get all the values in the database and checks whether the given email and password is existing or not. If the user is existing, then it will return true, which is the boolean, and then we will be able to log in into your account. So the result of the statement which we prepared is a boolean. That means if the result is true, then we will be able to log into the account. So our goal is to make the result to be true. So how do we do that? In the backend, we will be writing some same type of SQL statement where we will be replacing this email and password with the values which we get from the user when the user fills the login form. And the final SQL statement which we have prepared will be executed and we will get the result, which is the login. So I think I have given the basic information needed for this video regarding SQL. So let's jump into SQL injections without any delay. For demonstrating the SQL injection, I'll use a website called OWASP Juice Shop, which means the Open Web Application Security Project. This project is specially developed to improve the software security. We can try our SQL injections or any other hacking related topics with this website. And this website is only for educational purposes like how does it work, but do not ever try this on any other website because you will be in trouble. So I'm also going to use Burp Suite for this demonstration to show you how the requests are being sent to the server. And let's see the installation of Burp Suite. Open your browser and search for Burp Suite. There you will be getting a link with the name portswigger.net. Go ahead and click on the link. Scroll down till you see the step to download the software. Here you need to select the Community Edition. This will redirect to another page where you need to select the version and the operating system. In my case, I was using the Linux, so I selected Linux and click on download. Once the download is done, open your terminal and redirect to the file location. I'll say cd space desktop, and here I'll be giving my permissions. Let's say chmod +x star. And now I'll open the file /burpsuite_community_linux and blah 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 .sh. This will unpack the file and open the installation wizard. So I'll click on next and it will install the Burp Suite. Now I'll open the Burp Suite and click on next and then start burp. Make sure the intercept here is turned off. Now in the browser we need to change some preferences. So I'll go to settings and search for proxy settings and change that to manual and enter the IP address as 127.0.0.1 and the port is 8000, which is the local host. And turn on the checkboxes here which uses all proxy servers for all protocols and click on OK. And in your browser go to the website called http://burp, and here you will be getting a CA certificate. Download the file and again go to your preferences in your browser and search for certificates. There you can see an option called view certificates. Click on that and import the certificate which you downloaded from burp. And now the installation is done. So if you go to the Google Chrome, the intercept will take your request and show that in your Burp Suite. Let's start learning what is SQL injections. What does it mean? We obviously know the definition, that is to gain the access of any website without the authorization. But how to do that with SQL statements? In the backend of any website, we will be writing a SQL statement to interact with the database. What the hacker will do is, he will create his own SQL statement to access the database from the entry point of the user, which is the login form. That means the hacker will get the information stored in the database. Let's try this hands-on. Here, I'm going to try this with OWASP Juice Shop, or you can just install this with the steps given below using the Node.js or any other Docker, something like that. This website resembles the Juice Shop website where you can add the items to the cart, log into your account, whatnot, everything like a real website. So let's start the SQL injection. I'll go to the login form. And now guess, what is the SQL statement that is written in the background? I'll open my mark text editor. It's just a notepad. So here I'll just write an SQL statement. Select star from users where email is equal to an empty string and password is equal to an empty string. So here we'll be adding the email and password in which the user enters in the login form and get those values from the login form and place it over here. When we use this, if the credentials are present in the users table, it just returns true and logs you into your account, which you already know that. I'll change this SQL statement into multiple ways. So one of the way is I'll just use operators and some comments in our SQL statement. So operators in the sense they are AND operator, OR operator. Those are the operators which we use in SQL statements. And what are comments? Comments in the sense you just need to use a double hyphen. So after using the double hyphen, the text placed after that double hyphen will be your comments. So that will not be executed when you run the SQL statement. In the email field here, what I'll do is I'll place a single quotation mark and the comments. Now, how will be the SQL statement be changed for this entry in the email? That will be select star from users where email is equal to a single inverted quotations and comment lines, and the password will be removed. I mean, after the quotation lines, all the thing will not be included in your SQL statement. So the statement after this email just became a comment line. You just removed the password. The meaning of this is I need to log into this website where email is empty and I don't need any password to log in. Isn't that cool? We are going to log into this website without entering any password. Let's see if this works. In the email field, I'll just enter this one, a single quotation and comment lines, and in the password that can be anything because it will not even check with the password because it's commented. Do you think this will work? But this will not work. The logic is correct, but because the email is the primary key for the table, right? That means it cannot be null while you are inserting the data or when you are going to sign up. You might be wondering what is primary key. It's the unique value where you can find an instance in the database. There must be some condition where this SQL statement should return true, right? So what I'll do is I'll place a OR operator and change this statement. What I'll do is select star from users where email is equal to an empty string or 10 is equal to 10 and then the comment lines. What does this SQL statement mean which we have written right now? I need the users where email address is empty or when 10 is equal to 10, which is obviously true in every case. Am I right? So we have created an SQL statement which will return true and it will not check any password. Let's see whether this will log us in or not. And yes, this credentials logged us into the admin account. But how did we log into the admin account? This takes the first entry in the users table and logs you in. And that's about the basics of SQL injections. And in this video, we did not use the burp suite because it is not that necessary to use burp with the login injection. We are going to use that in the further demonstration of SQL injections. So there are plenty of things you can do with SQL injection, but this video is just to demonstrate the basics of SQL injection. And in the next video, I'll show you what all the things that you can do with SQL injections. That's it for the video. Hope you like this video and please do subscribe and share it with your friends and stay tuned for the next part. Thank you.